Hi, this is Mr. Dolan, and this is a guide for the technologically challenged teacher, and today we're talking about Google Classroom. Okay, if you've never created a classroom before, the first thing you want to do is open Chrome, and then you're going to type in classroom.google.com, and it'll immediately come to this screen, and when you click on Get Classroom, you're going to log in, and you use the same email that you use at school, like mine, for instance. My email is mdolan@mvusd.net. You just add a G to it, so it's mdolan@g.mvusd.net. And one of the questions I'll ask you when you start is, are you a student or are you a teacher? Now, for the students, you'll have them click student, but obviously you're a teacher, so go ahead and click teacher. Up at the top corner then, you're going to have and you can see it right there, the create your first classroom. And you're going to hit that plus sign right there, and you're going to hit create a class. For this one, we'll just create a class. Then you type in name. Now, what I would do for the first time is type in the first period class name, and then right below it, you're going to type in, your period of your class for the, bottom title. And then you can hit create. Okay, once you've created a class, it will look something like this when you first open it up and stuff. This is your classroom, and as you can see, you basically you can take their tour right there, and you can change themes, you can add different things to it, but it looks pretty blank at this point. So we will basically be talking about themes first, and so you can click select a theme up on the top corner. And this is just to make your classroom a little bit more interesting. Go ahead and select a theme. For right now, don't worry about what it is. You can always go back and change it later. And you can just hit select class theme. Okay, another thing, we're going to create a new announcement now, because really the classroom is to put information onto your classroom so students can get to it from school and home. If they're sick one day, they'll see the announcements. So you're going to want to hit the plus sign next to at the very bottom right. This is a new way of doing it. They had slightly different before. So this is the new way of doing it. And what it'll do is it'll bring up this. And for the new assignment, that's going to be the one just above the plus sign. So go ahead and click that. And keep in mind, you can pause this at any time. Now here, what we're going to do is we're going to type in our announcement message right up in here. Okay, now you can put in a much longer message than that. It could be as long as you want. I haven't found a limit yet. And once you're done with the message, you can hit post. And this is one of the messages I did on online etiquette and stuff. Now, things you can add to it, you can add upload a file. This would be a file from your computer's My Documents. You can also attach a file from Google Drive itself. If you already are using Google Drive, you're using one of their docs or their sheets or forms, you can add the file from Google Drives. You also have a link to the YouTube videos, and this is kind of nice because you can add videos. You can upload a video to YouTube, not worry about the storage, let YouTube worry about that, and then just put a link to it. And the last thing right here, you can do a link from another web page. You can attach a lot of different information that way. And then when you're done, you just click post. Before you click post though, make sure that you click on the where your class is. If you have more than one class, now you don't have a class now, so it's not going to show you what is. If this is your first class, it's not going to show you this. But if you have more than one class, you can click on the class, and it'll bring up a list of different classes that you can click on, and then post. Now, don't post if you have more than one class and later you're going to add it to classes. Once you post it, and hopefully they'll update this later, but once you post it, it's attached to all those classes. And so another nice thing is you can save a draft. Let's say you create something, but you don't want to quite post it. You want to post it later. You can click on the little arrow next to post, and a drop down similar to this will come up, and then you'll be able to save a draft or post. Now here's what our class looks like and stuff from our point of view. Now what's very important here, we can do a show deleted items, but if we delete something, we can delete and we'll get more into deleting later, but that would be, delete would be found in the tools menu over here. And so we'll get into that hopefully in another tutorial. Right now I want to show you how to create stuff, and we want to keep it simple. This here will show all the work that's due soon. And then down here you have the class code. This becomes very important for adding a class. And okay, so here we go to the next one. And this one here, I'm going to show that the class code basically, once again, now this is a class I've set up on my own that if you type this in, you can go to my class and I will have PowerPoints and links to these different things. So please feel free to sign into this, anybody that would like to get additional information. And as I get new tutorials, I'll try to post them on there too. Let me show you how the kids will do it. First, for right now, if you want to, you can click that icon on the top and then click Classes. And this, it'll bring you into this. Now, I put this kind of out in front so that you can see the RM4TA4F. When you create a new class, you're going to go over to that plus sign again. This time, you're going to join the class and type in this RM4TAF and then click join. Okay, so this is what my class kind of looks like from the point of view of your student and stuff. And you notice right here the add, they can literally go right in, and I'll show you a little later, and add assignments directly into it. But let's, before we do that, actually add an assignment. So let's go back to our original class, or your original class, and you'll notice here the teacher has these extra tools that the student doesn't see. And this time I want you to click the plus sign, but then I want you to click create assignment. Now remember, if I'm moving too fast, stop the video, back it up, and take a look at it at a different speed. I'm going through this pretty quickly today because I figure you can stop the video at any time. Now, when you add the class, you're going to add all this information up here, your title and some instructions and stuff up here. Whoops, I did a really bad job of that, but that's okay. Then right here, you have a calendar that you can click on. And the calendar, you click the arrow and it'll pop out a calendar, and it's really easy to use. Then you have another calendar right there that you can click on, and that actually brings the calendar up so that you can click on a date. Let's say we click on the 11th, and you can click that and boom, it's going to pop you right back to here. And anyways, then you'll click the save, and of course that's right there. Okay, so now we have our date and stuff. Now we need to add some additional links. I'm going to add a link and a video to this. So the link we're going to add right here. And that, it looks like a chain. Keep that in mind. That's the link to another website or a file. Well, actually, it's another website. A file you'll connect a different way. You can type in the URL here, and then of course you'll hit add. And until you hit add, it'll probably give you invalid URL. I think the first time I added it, it gave me an invalid URL. By the way, here is that thing, teacher training. That's my course. If I click that, I can assign it to all the different classes I have. So keep that in mind. This is for the teacher or for the multiple class. Make sure you do that before you do the assigning. Type in the web address of the link and then click add. The next thing you're going to do, now we're going to add a video this time, and you can see the link right here that we added. It adds up. We can delete it out if we need to by hitting the X, but we have the link right here. So now what I want to do is I want to click on the next thing, which is the YouTube icon. This is kind of neat because Google is if I remember right, they own YouTube. So they have a direct link to it, and it gives you a search box here. So like I typed in digital etiquette, and then I clicked on the magnifying glass, which is your search button or search icon, and that brings up several different possibilities. Now they all look like this until I click on one, and then you can click right onto the video and it will play it, and you can try it and see how it works and everything, and decide for yourself if that's the right video. Once you have the right video, then you just click add down here, okay? So once you've clicked add, and of course I have my little other thing going there to click add, then it's linked into your assignment as well. Finally, after you've selected all the classes that you want to assign it to, you click on the assign. Okay, so this is how it's going to kind of look to the students, and up here it'll show due Friday. I'm not sure if this is on the students or not. It might not be. I'll have to look. I kind of bootlegged it to kind of make it look like that, and I wasn't sure if this was there or not. But anyways, you can see the assignment here. You can see there. Now, the teacher, I can tell this is the teacher one because this won't show up the student, but it'll show how many have done it. Right now, I only had one student when I originally made this, and 0 have done it. So this is the teachers, but I kind of cropped it to give you more of an idea of a student. Actually, this is a student. I had the one teacher log in, Mr. Long logged in so that he can show us exactly how that is. And you can see I have the 2 right here. And here it is. He's clicked on the assignment itself. And you can see right here the ad. And you're going to click on this ad right here. And what it's going to do is do a drop down like this, where you can add from Google Drive if the student already has their assignment done, or they can link to a web page. They can add a file from their hard drive, or here's the thing I really wanted to focus on is they can create the document right here. Either a doc, a slides, a sheet, or a drawing can be created right in Classroom. And what it does when you create it is right here, it puts it into the classroom itself. Now this is just a blank document, not really ready to be turned in. So tell the kids, don't click the turn in yet. Double click or click on your assignment. I keep calling it double click, but I believe you can just click on it. That will open up your assignment here. Now, the reason I say to do Google Docs in the classroom is because it adds this turn in right here. And so you're able to turn it in directly to the classroom when the student gets done with it. So this is kind of neat. You can also create a form or a, like I created a document or a template that I shared with the students, or I made it so that the kids can have copies of the form. And I'll show that in a different tutorial. But then the kids will have a copy on their drive and they can fill it in and stuff. Now, when they turn it in to you, they can share it with other people if they want, and you can add comments. You'll be able, when they turn it in, to open it up and add comments that when you return it to them, they'll be able to see. When you put the grade in, you'll be able to see the comments and stuff that the teacher made, and they can go in and correct it and then give it back to you, and you guys can go back and forth on comments and stuff. That's kind of a neat tool. And the comments basically work on where you can highlight a section of code and attach a comment right to that, or section of text, sorry, programming terms. You can highlight a section of text and attach a comment to that specific section of text. Okay, once they hit turn in, it's going to give them one more screen. Are you sure you want to turn it in? Okay, it says turn in the work, and they can click cancel at this point if they want to go back and work on it, or they can click the turn in to get the final turn in and have their assignment all done and turned in. Now, that's how the kids do the turn in and stuff. Now I want to talk about quizzes and how to build a quiz. really, you've got to do the quiz. You've got to build the quiz in Google Forms first. So you'll go to http://docs.google.com/forms/. If you do that exactly like that, it'll take you right to the forms page. If you've never done a forms before, I believe the first time it opens up with a brand new form. Otherwise, you can hit the little plus sign down here and it will open up a new form and stuff. And so make sure you hit the plus sign to open up the new form. This here, the first thing I want to talk about is your settings up on the top. Up here, you have several settings that will affect how your quiz is handled. And so I've enlarged it right here so that you can see it. And you've got required the Moreno Valley Unified School District login to view this form, automatic collect responses from MVUSD usernames, show progression bar from the forms, only allow one response per person, and shuffle question orders. Now I have some notes on this. Always have the required Moreno Valley Unified School District login checked unless you want to share it with somebody who's not in the district. Maybe you want to send out a quiz to parents, in which case you're going to email it out to them. You're going to want to uncheck that because they don't have the same logins that the district employees and the students have. The second one is automatically collect responsives. What this does is technically it adds to the results the student's email address, and so their username is automatically linked to the sheet that it will make when it's done, the spreadsheet that it'll make when it's done. And then that way, if you're doing automatic grading, which I'll show you in just a little bit, it will automatically email the students the results from their test. So right after they take the test, they can have results. Another thing is the next one, show progression bar. That's something I use so the kid can or the student can kind of see how they're progressing in their test. Only allow one response per person. If this is checked, it only allows you, the student, to take the test one time for that login. Otherwise, you'll have to release that login, and I'm still working on how to do that, but if you uncheck it, then they can take the test as many times as they want. So in a later video, I'll show you how to do that. I didn't have time to put it into this PowerPoint. The last one is shuffle question order. This is kind of cool because the student right next to one student and then the next student, they'll have completely different tests because the test will shift the questions around. So it makes it a lot more difficult for a student to copy off another student. Okay, so let's look at the quiz itself. The very first thing you want to do in the title, this is the question title, this is the actual question, always put first name. Okay, and this is a drop down. In the next slide, I'll show you the drop down. But you want to set the first name as a text. The reason why is because even though it collects responses, our district uses student number as the username. And unless you want to really look up every single student number and what students related to what number, this is good to have the first name and then also have the second name. So the first name, when you click done here, it's going to show up right here. And here is that drop down that shows text. Here I was doing last name, and this drops down. So you'll want to make sure that one's highlighted. And then you'll click done. Actually, there's one other thing you'll click. Make sure you put the question in the question title box, by the way. That is the actual question. And always make sure that you select text for the first two, the last name and the first name, and then you can click done. But the note, you first two questions need to be the student's first name and the last name in the text type question. If you do this, by the way, you might not want to use the shuffle. I'm still trying to work out how to get around that, and maybe I'll find a way to do that. basically it also shuffles the name as far as I know right now, and I'll have to look at the advanced settings and let you know at a later time. I'll add an additional video on things I missed. Okay, so here's one of the questions. This is a multiple choice. In other words, the drop down, you're going to type the question in, then go to the drop down, choose multiple choice, and then you'll be able to put in all your answers, possible answers. Another thing I wanted to emphasize is use require on all required question for all your questions. The reason being is then that way if a student misses, maybe they skip a question for right now and they'll come back to it, but then they get done, they click done, it won't let them submit the test until they go back and fill in that question they missed. Once you're done, you can click done. To get a new question, you'll do the add item, okay? Just in case I missed mentioning that earlier. Here is a true and false. How to do a true and false question? Well, you obviously ask your question, but then multiple choice and only put true and false. Those two is all you need. If it sees that, it basically will count it as a true or false type answer. Once again, require the question and then click done. Here's checkboxes. Now, checkboxes are kind of cool if you have something like you want more than one answer, okay? So check all that are true for online etiquette. Well, the internet is private. No, we know that's not, so we wouldn't check that one. But think before hitting send. Well, hit send. I spelling error, sorry. Basically, that is part of the etiquette, and so that you would want to include. Internet automatically censors itself. No, you don't include that. But the last one, always check for permission. So this one here and this one here are the two that the kids are supposed to choose. Now, this also gives you some validation stuff. And so, then you'll click done when you're done. And let's move on to the next one. This one is a list. So it's like multiple choice, only you can create a list of options, and it has a little drop down and you select those list of options. Okay, so now you've completed your test. You can go up to the top and you can give your test a theme. This is kind of cool because what happens is this box opens up over here and you're able to choose a theme, and there is a custom theme, so you can create your own theme, and that's kind of cool. After you've got your theme, you're going to want to make a key. So you're going to go to basically the next thing is to hit the live form, okay? When you do that, you can go in and take the test. Now, what I typically do is put first name key, last name key, but you could put the first name as answer and the last name as key. The guy's name's Answer Key. Great. You can do that and take the test yourself and put in the right answers, and then click Submit. Now, what that will do is once you've created the key and everything, we go back up to the top and you'll click on the View Responses. And what that will do is it's going to open up a spreadsheet. Basically, it opens up a spreadsheet like this, and you can see the first name key, last name key, and then we have the answer. So all these answers are going to be stacked up here. As everybody takes the test, it'll just add to the spreadsheet. Okay, and you can look at this at any time. Now, we want to build a self-grading test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on add-ins. Now, I've already added this, but I want to show you where to go to add it, so that you can add Flubaroo, yeah, something like that. Anyways, I already have it here, but you're going to go to Get Add-ons, okay? And click on Get Add-ons, and that's going to take you right here. And if you don't see this right up here, type Flubaroo up here, or Flubaroo. I guess that's what it is, Flubaroo. Oh man, that's why I teach computers and not English. Anyways, Flubaroo. Right now mine says manage because I already have it installed, but it will ask you if you want to install it. The district basically has given you permission to install any of these that you see here when you go in to do it, as long as it doesn't cost any money. This is a free add-on that's put out by Google or somebody working with Google. Okay, so you'll add that to your thing, and if you're in the spreadsheet, you got to be in the spreadsheet when you add it, okay? Once you've added, then you can click on add-ins. You'll have that Flubaroo sign there. Go down to advanced, and you can click on enable auto grading right there. And that will auto grade all the tests. Here's the thing. When the student gets done taking the test, they can click the submit, and it will automatically send them an email of what their grade is. This is kind of convenient because you can give them immediate response. Okay, so now we're done with our quiz. We have it set up, it's ready. Now you'll notice this doesn't show my theme because what I did was I went back and clicked on edit questions again. And so now I'm ready to submit or to put my quiz on the form or into the classroom. So what I'm gonna do is go up here and click send form. There's also a send form at the bottom of the quiz that you can use. What that does is open up this dialog box. And this will come open with a very long URL. You can shorten the URL by checking this checkbox right here. Check that to shorten the URL. Then you can email it to people if you want to do, let's say you want to do a survey of parents to see what they're, and if you do that survey, remember to uncheck the Moreno Valley thing before you finish creating the survey. And you can email them this link and they'll be able to go on and do it. Now, highlight the link and then hit Control C. Control C is copy. That's the CTRL key at the bottom left corner of your, in fact, on my keyboard, it's on both sides. Most keyboards, I think it is. If you're on a custom keyboard or a Chromebook, it might be somewhere different. You're going to hit Control C, and then you're going to click done, and then we're going to go back to our classroom at this point. Usually you'll be able to just click the tabs that are up here if you have both tabs open. This time what we'll do is we'll hit add assignment again, and we're going to add it to the assignment, and I usually put the title etiquette quiz, and click the link to take the quiz. And we're going to put in a link right here using the link icon. And what you're going to do now, here I did paste in the long URL, but you can also paste in the short URL. Paste it in, click add, and then you're going to click save. And I did this real quick so I don't have all the circles in here, but you're going to click add, will end up over here. If you want to remove the link, you can always hit the X in the corner. Then you want to click save to save it. Now it's sitting right here and the student just has to click on that. It will open up. They're ready to take it. And once they get it done, like I said, it will email it to you. So this is pretty much it for this one. I don't want to cover too much more at this time. I want to get you guys to absorb it. Stop this video anytime and take a look at that section. This is Mike, and thank you for joining me.